I turned 12. My dad called me in a room. He said, son, this is it. And then he tells me, he calls me in the room and says, I'm not buying you any more school clothes. I'm not buying you any more school supplies. And from this point forward, you have to pay rent to live here. You got to pay $100 a month to live here. And as you get older, the rent's going to go up. I'm 12. I said, okay. Luckily for me, I was smart. I looked in the Miami News. They were hiring for newspaper subscription sales kids, 12 years old to 16 years old. They would come to your house. A guy would come to your house. A team leader would come to your house in a pickup truck with like 3 kids in the back. You'd hop in the pickup truck. This is before seatbelt laws and all this abduction stuff. None of that stuff even existed really back then. Not on this level. You get in the back of that pickup truck. He takes you to a neighborhood. He says, square that block. That means you have to go around that block and knock on every door till you get back towards the point he dropped you off. And then you got to wait there. We're doing this way into the deep hours of the night. 8 o'clock at night, we're still out working, going door to door selling newspaper subscriptions. I became the #1 subscription salesperson for Miami News. All my friends were taking that money. They were taking that money from from working, and blowing it on candy and clothes and dumb stuff, toys. And they're like, what are you doing with your money every week? I'm saving my money. It's like, that's stupid. Why are you saving your money? I'm like, because I got plans. I don't know what it is yet. I don't know what's coming yet. I don't know how it's going to happen, but I know I'm going to need this money. So I paid my rent to my parents, so $100. And to some of that money I utilized for things that I did need, like clothes and stuff like that, but only a few things here and there, nothing crazy, nothing outlandish. I would say about 70% of the money was saved. And then one day, my mother sent me to the grocery store. The first thing I do when I go to the grocery store is I go to the magazine rack because there's magazines there, and that's the cool thing to do back then. But anyway, so I'm in there and I go, and every time I would go, I would see this magazine called Opportunity Magazine. It was way up on the top rack, hard to reach. I would never grab it because it was too high up. I would just focus on the kids' magazines and the comic books. And this one day I went in, somebody must have read it and had it and put it on the lower level where I could just pick it up. I picked up that Opportunity Business Magazine off the rack and I opened it up. And as soon as I opened it, it opened up right to Galaxy Electronics, which is still in business today. I said, Galaxy Electronics, pretty interesting. Now, let me rewind you for a second and tell you why this is important. A week before, this is the power of manifesting. A week before, I'm sitting inside of my friend's dad's car, listening to an 8-track radio, okay, in his car. This is, tell you guys, I'm going way back, 8-track. You can't rewind 8 tracks. You have to listen to the whole album and let it start over again. Anyway, it was an analog dial. You know, you twist the dial and you see the needle moving back and forth, right? And so we're sitting in there. Now, the only good thing that I bought, only lavish thing I would say that I bought myself with my money was a calculator watch because it would help me with math. It was a digital watch. Back then, they just came out, $20 at Kmart. It had the little digital readout on the watch. And I told my friend, this digital readout where you see it, these numbers like this are going to be on the radio very soon one day. And he laughed. I said, I'm telling you, this is going to be on that. Fast forward a week later, I opened up that book, Opportunity Magazine, Galaxy Electronics. Digital car radios for the first time being sold wholesale to the general public. I almost fell out of my seat. I was like, what in the world's going on? I turned around in that aisle that I was in. I looked up at the lights. I turned back around again. I opened the book up. I read the article. I read the ad. I'm sorry, it was a half-page ad. And it said they were only, I think they were $27.95 each. Wholesale. You had to buy at least 50, a lot of 50. So I put my first order in. I got my first lot of digital car stereos. And I started selling these car stereos to upperclassmen in high school, which was right down the street. Word caught on that I had these digital high-powered stereos, and everybody from the Tri-County area started coming to my house to buy radios. Eventually, I evolved into not only the car stereos, but also the high-power watt amps, the EQ boosters and EQs, subwoofers and 6x9s, the 10 and 12 and 15-inch subwoofers and bass woofers. And then also, I finally got a friend of mine from down the street to come over and help me do installations right in front of the house. Within just a few short months, I turned 13. I was already making more money than my parents, running my own electronics company right from the house. Needless to say, I didn't have any more shoe problems anymore. I had as many shoes as you can find. I bought myself 21 pairs of Nikes because I knew with 21 pairs, I can wear a different pair of shoes every single day without repeating for the whole month. My clothing changed. I upgraded my clothes. I started getting Levi's, started getting nice polo shirts and button downs, making myself look good and respectable. And then what I would do is every 4 to 5 months, I would give all those clothes away and buy myself more. Any kids that I saw in school that didn't have money, that were struggling, that were about my size, I just give them my clothes, just give them my shoes. I would give away all those sneakers. A thing that I carry on and do still to this very day. I just gave away 3 40-gallon garbage bags of sneakers just about a month ago. Still doing it till this day. And so why am I telling you this? Because it's understanding. Once you become powerful in manifesting, I saw the radio in the car. I saw the vision. That's going to change. And I knew in my mind, man, whoever comes up with this, who puts this digital readout on that is going to be rich. And a week later, I'm now buying digital car radios. Because when you become a master at understanding the link between manifesting and the world that we're in, you become instant. It becomes instant. You become a master at it. You literally become a master. And then what happens? When you speak, things happen almost immediately. A week later, I was in this car stereo business, selling car stereos, and became very good at it. By the time I was 13, made more money than my parents in a week per week. Moved out when I was 16.
By Compendium of the Emerald Tablets by Billy Carson.